Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Sabrina Victoria. Thank you so much for being here. This is Her Talk Show. I am here with Sloane today, and we're going to be talking all about finding your voice to transform your life. So get comfortable as we explore the triumphs, the challenges faced by women worldwide within this arena. We're going to be offering some insights. Sloane is going to be offering some inspiration to really fuel not only your personal growth, but also your professional growth. So let's jump in.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for being here. If you're listening live, welcome. If you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love in the comments. We're here every day delving deep into the world of health, wealth, and leadership with some of the most brilliant women globally. We've interviewed over 600 women, and today we are adding another one to the list. Best-selling author and host for the Find Your Voice, Rock Your Confidence podcast, Sloane is an expert in all things voice. She uses a holistic approach, teaching thousands of clients to date how to cultivate their inner brilliance in order to create life-changing vocal wellness through self-care practices using the voice. Calming breathing techniques, raising one's vibrational frequency, and practicing loving acts of kindness and service. She has been a voice and confidence coach for 25 years, helping public speakers, teachers, therapists, doctors, and authors to prepare vocally for their professions. Welcome, lady. Oh, we could hear that. That was fun. I love that.
Nice. Good night.
So first of all, I didn't realize like so much stuff through voice.
Yeah, people don't. People, most generally speaking, unless you work in the industry of voice, singing, speaking, presenting, sound healing, think that the voice is something that just happens here.
Yeah,
But
I just
it
call
really
it
is-
mouth. I just call it mouth noises. You know what I mean? Like that's really all it is. It's just like we're just like making noises with our mouth, and then like you just understand those mouth noises.
No,
So much more than that.
full body experience. Yes, it's
That's
a
great.
mental connection to the physical body and all the other things that go with that.
So I just read cultivate their inner brilliance in order to create life-changing vocal wellness. What is vocal wellness?
From my perspective and my experience and where I've come from, so just a little backstory for you. I was very sick as a child. I was doing breath work for voice as a kid, not realizing what I was doing. Super sick, heavily medicated, upper respiratory issues. I would get a cold that would turn into bronchitis that would land me in the hospital with pneumonia. First, 10, 12 years of my life. I didn't like the medications that they would shoot me up with. And I didn't want to go to emergency room. I didn't want to end up in the hospital. So I taught myself as early as 8, 9 years old how to stop an asthma attack from happening. So I was already as a kid teaching myself how to slow my breath, how to slow down my autonomic nervous system. Now, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just know I don't want to go to the hospital and I don't want to be shot up with steroids. So fast forward, and just a caveat, all these years later, I am healthier today than I've ever been in my whole life. I am on 0 medication. I take vitamin C, right? And I think it's this work I've been doing for 25 years. So when I started teaching, it was really just about, well, I have to confess, I had started teaching because I was in a band. I was like, I needed money to pay for my hair, my makeup, my wardrobe. But then I started seeing all of these interesting things coming in, people with vocal cord issues and health related things to the voice. And so I wasn't sure if the technique that I have been teaching was going to be effective. And that's one of the things I tell people even to this day, I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try what I've been doing and let's just give it a few weeks. Let's see if we have any result.
Wow.
Every single time. So coming back to your question, that came as a result, vocal wellness came as a result of all of these clients that started coming in for things other than singing or performing. And I just continued to do the work. I got drug in deeper and deeper, energy work, working with the chakras in the body, sound frequency, sound healing. It's been fascinating. I'm still 25 years later, Sabrina, I'm still so excited about the work that I do. And to see the results of my clients,
Wow.
mind blowing. I'm just like, wow.
Wow. When you say raising one's vibrational what does
Frequency,
this mean? Yeah.
the frequency. So, well, everything is vibration. Everything is vibration, right? And everything is moving. So now we're moving into like quantum
We're
physics.
getting a little woo here, Sloane.
Just a little. It's going to be just a, and it was, and literally it was totally by accident. In fact, I was actually part of a very conservative Christian church when I got certified to teach voice 25 something years ago. And I actually, this is part of what I do here, right? This is part of the courage piece. I had friends very close, godparents to my children, who said exactly that. Sloane, you're doing devil's work here, girl. I don't know what you're getting into, but this, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like this is my new livelihood, and I've been in this church forever. Well, when I dove a little deeper, I'm like, no, this is science. This is like, this can be measured. It can be evaluated. You can literally see sound frequency. So all of that to say that that was one of my most courageous acts ever. Is I have had to walk away from people who just don't have any space or margin for that. So sound frequency, everything is frequency. We live in a three-dimensional world. Everything is, time, space. We can touch, we can feel. I have learned through this work, and people have come into my life. Joe Dispenza is one of my mentors. I follow a lot of his work. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's all
Yes.
about the quantum field. There is so much more, ladies, friends, audience who are watching and listening to this interview. There's so much more available to us. And so most of the world, I believe, I think there's a big transition happening right now, which is very exciting. Most of the world is living in this victim state. They feel like they don't have any power. They have no control. That is bullshit. It is a lie. That's okay for me to say. Yeah. You confirmed. We have so much power within us, but to get there, to get to that level, and I so appreciate this. I heard this in one of your interviews, Sabrina. It's critical that we get quiet. One of the ways that allows us to get to that space, whatever you do, I cannot say enough about having some regular daily practice. And I know it's hard because life is in session, and we get out, and as soon as your feet hit the floor, it's like, boom, we're 75 miles an hour. I want to tell you, we actually have the power to multiply our time. It's a quantum field thing I can't explain. But if you take the time every day, it doesn't take long. 10 quick breaths, going for a 15-minute walk, completely unplugging and going inside and just getting quiet, whatever that is, prayer, meditation, journaling, whatever works for you. There's something that happens to our time and our frequency when we get quiet. We literally raise our vibration. Sound, every note on a piano, a keyboard, pertains to a specific energy center in our body. When we apply breath and sound and certain shapes, we literally can release. I had a woman yesterday. If this is a good time to interject this, I had a woman, brand new client, been terrified to come in. We've gone around and around and all the things she wants to do with her voice, but she's terrified, but she needs to know, but I'm not sure, but maybe I want to do the healing thing. No, just, so shows up yesterday. She's like, I'm not even sure if I really want to do this. I just want to sing. I just want to have fun. It's like, no problem. Let's just sing, sister. Let's do some breath work. Let's sing. Okay. While we are in this, and now this is not my common everyday person coming in, but she went from crying. This is in 30 minutes. She went from crying, like, I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know what's going on right here. It's totally okay. Here's the Kleenex. Seen it before. It's all normal. By the end of the session, she's now sweating. So I don't know what's going on. I never sweat. What is going on? Darling, it's you're releasing. You're releasing all that crap in your body, in your brain, all those voices telling you that you don't have anything important to say, you're not valued, hiding out, not being seen, right? We're releasing this through singing. Lots of different things they do. I got a text from her last night saying she got home and had a physical, like full-blown purge. And so she texted me, she's like, is this normal? It's like, yeah, you're releasing probably years of crap you've been holding and storing, and literally that you've been storing and holding.
When you say purge, does that mean throwing up?
She had some diarrhea actually.
Wow.
So from crying to sweating to getting home, having intestinal issues, and I was like, "Are you sure you're not coming down with something?" Because we've had a lot of stuff going around. It's like, "Oh no!" It was like a. She left my session. She had this huge release. She felt wonderful when it was all over. I was like, "Yeah, keep coming back. This shit works if you work it. It's amazing." Like literally, it. So she was completely shocked because she had been all over the place, and it was very exciting for me. But that's everyone has a different experience when they start doing vocal work, and when they come in, I'm not telling people about this. You know, I don't. Some people, like if you were a conservative Christian coming in, and I mean no offense at all. If you are a conservative Christian watching or listening to this show, friends, it's just science. And this has been my experience in 25 years of this work, that it's very powerful work. A lot of people are very afraid. You know, I think the number one fear still continues this day is public speaking, whether it's podcasting, getting on a stage, singing for an audience. It's still a huge fear. And people have literal physical things that happen because of fear, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There was somebody that I just met recently that was talking about humming that they were doing for healing.
Yes.
So is that a similar, but like, is that what you're kind of talking about? Like they said there was like a vibration that they were having. They did it for like a year and a half. It like changed so much just by doing certain hums.
Oh, you're speaking my language. This is my jam.
Really?
Absolutely. Humming is one of the quickest, simplest ways to activate, again, your entire nervous system. More specifically, what that does, and I have this is I did a whole episode with a therapist, Jackie, and on the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs through our entire body. It runs, it connects the brain. It runs down through the spinal cord, all the way down into that root center. And it's actually the nerve. Like if there was any nerve you were going to work with, that's the one. And there are, friends, you can go online, you can search, just plug in, importance or vagus nerve to learn more what it is about. It is a wonderful instant way to activate. Humming is one of the quickest ways, because now you're literally vibrating in the entire body. I use humming, sound, like I mentioned earlier, certain shapes. So this is a fun one. If you're a musician, you would know this. You don't have to be a musician, by the way. You don't have to read music to take voice work. The piano is made up of octaves, and each octave, if you look at the note, the key of C to the key of C is 7 octaves. Isn't it funny that the human body, the physical human body, is made up of 7 energy centers? Now there's more. We have, one above us, and then there's like, we get up into like, 20, 30 more, up here. And this gets into the auric, aura, the aura field. So this is one of those things, you can walk into a room and, either like, okay, this is a safe, fun place to be right now, or there's somebody in the room, or there's some tension, and there's there's nothing to confirm it other than you just walk in and you just know, ooh, something doesn't feel right here. So 7 energy centers, and then in a nutshell, basically each of those notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, all correspond to a different energy center in your body.
Wow.
The sound of each of those notes, combined with a specific vowel shape that you are emitting, that's when we really start to get in and move some stuff out of the body. So, for example, the key of F is the heart lung area. So I can tell when somebody walks into the room, I always do this initial session just to, it's an evaluation, and it's more for me, so I can see what I'm going to be working with. But if someone is really tight in the chest, everything's getting stuck up in here. The heart, by the way, is where we hold grief, loss, anybody that has had upper respiratory issues, right? That was my life as a kid. My first asthma attack was at 6 months old. This is where we hold all that. So if somebody comes in and I can see that, I can hear that, I'm going to be doing stuff in the key of F. We're going to be singing songs in the key of F. We're doing breath work in the key of F. That shape, in the key of F, that's going to move all that stuff out of the body.
Wow.
And this is just, we're just tapping, we're scratching the surface of this amazing work.
Yeah. I was just talking to somebody, this just reminded me, literally last week. What is her name? Damn it. I don't remember. I'd like to call her out. She is a health practitioner, and she went in for her spinal core, spine, some sort, here in her neck. And she said she went into a practitioner who shot sound waves through her body for realignment. And supposedly, this is the story. She went in, just happened like a month ago. She went in, they took an x-ray. It's all misaligned. She's having issues. They took an x-ray, they see it, they line up the sound wave to her neck, shot the sound wave for like 30 seconds through, whatever it is. They took another x-ray. All she did was lay down. There was no stretching. There was no nothing. There was no cracking. Got up, took another x-ray, aligned.
Wow. Do you know if they used it like a device of some sort?
Some sort of a device. Do you want me to get you the info?
That would be so fun if it's not too much trouble.
I'll get you. I don't know who the guy is, but I can connect you to the girl.
That would be
I forgot what her
beautiful.
friggin' name is, and it's funny because we're actually talking about partnering up, but I don't remember her name. But anyways,
Like you don't have enough going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it was just so, I was literally like, what? This is the craziest thing I've ever heard of before.
Yeah.
Wow, this is definitely interesting. So I'd love to kind of bring this back to entrepreneurship, right? Because my audience, they're mostly women. They're women entrepreneurs. They're stepping into their power. They're stepping into their health, their leadership skills. A lot of them are wanting to get onto podcasts. A lot of them are wanting to get onto stages. And the last thing they're thinking about is like their voice, right? They're thinking about what they're going to say. They're thinking about their nerves, how much time they have, what they're going to talk about. Is it going to be inspiring? I would love for you to talk a little bit about the importance of them strengthening, I guess, their voice or their vocal abilities for an add-on. Why is this part important? Why should they be looking into this, diving into this, connecting with someone like you?
Absolutely. It is always the last thing that people are thinking about.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, there's so many facets of this. The first thing that I would ask is, you want to be thinking about, again, our voice sound is frequency. It is literally, if you look at sound waves, it is a frequency. And so tonal quality of your voice is very important. Things that you want to be paying attention or asking yourself the question, does the sound of my voice draw people to me like a magnet, or does it repel them away? So, just a real simple thing. One of the things I work with is the tonal quality, the elements in the voice. So when you think about earth, air, fire, water, metal, all right, earth is very grounding, right? We both have a lot of earth. Earth is authority. It establishes us as experts in our field. It shows that we know what we're talking about. We're a safe place. We can help our clients. Water is a very nurturing. We both have a little bit of that too. Water is very nurturing. It flows. Preschool teachers, a dental hygienist, at least mine does. Very calming. You know that you're safe. Fire is passion. And those are my most favorite. Earth, water, and fire are the three elements I love to work with in the human voice. Two voices that are not going to attract and draw the tonal quality. Metal is going to be that very sinusy. Remember Lucille Ball? Oh, Ricky, right? There are people that sound like that.
The nanny.
The nanny, right?
Yeah.
Fran Jeschler.
Yeah.
Friends, if you sound anything like any of these characters, please, you don't need to call me. I mean, I'm here and I can work with you, but please pay attention to that, because that's a repellent. That is not going to draw people. Another one, air. Remember Marilyn Monroe? Happy birthday, Mr. President. No. Who's going to take you seriously when you walk into a boardroom talking like that? So, I mean, this is just really simple stuff.
Yeah.
And that's just the tonal quality,
Totally.
the sound of your voice. So these are things to really pay attention to. Working on taking up space instead of, shrinking and holding back. And the wildest thing of all is that, I mean, this is not rocket science. And how I ended up in this, I'm so grateful that this is what I do I can't believe this is what I do for a living, that I get to serve, the human race doing what I do, because people don't think about it. And I love that we're having these conversations. I love that we have these platforms, and that you, Sabrina, and all the other people that I've been meeting with online all over the world, right? Yeah. When you start to dig in, what do you think is the biggest fear? Because there's one, maybe two major fears about getting in front of an audience. What do you think it is, Sabrina?
Well, that they're not going to like you.
Definitely, that's a huge one. People pleasing.
Okay, not going to like you, and then that you look fat.
Well, being judged.
That would be mine.
Being judged, making a mistake.
Okay. Yeah.
All of those things, at least my experience, and with the thousands of clients that I've worked with to date, most of the time, this is this is childhood stuff. This is childhood programming. We didn't know any different. The people who were caring for us, our caregivers, teachers, coaches, sibling, family members, they didn't know any better. It was just their programming, passing along to the next generation of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So right now there is a movement. Thank you that you are part of this movement, that we are waking up and like, wait a minute. Tony Robbins, the past does not equal the future. We get to create our new future. And all of that stuff going on in the brain, this was the release that the woman had yesterday, right? Yeah. The crying, the sweating, the diarrhea after she left the studio yesterday. That is all that old programming leaving the body. Mm-hmm. And we get too much up in our head. And, when you get on a stage, if you make a mistake, if something doesn't go quite as planned, it shows that you're human. Yeah. It shows that you're relatable, right? Yeah. The best thing we can be doing right now is being who we are, right? And it goes back to knowing who you are, right? And without apology. And because when we know that, then we can step into that, fully show up, fully be of service. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks anymore, right? And I haven't always been that way. I was one of those growing up, never good enough, never fast enough. Didn't matter how, it just never. And we had mental illness, and there was domestic violence, and
where were you in the lineage of kids?
Oldest of three.
I'm oldest too of three.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that. What is it? Sister, brother? What's up?
yeah. Myself, sister 2 years younger, a brother 5 years younger. Yep, yep.
Dude, my sister's 2 years younger and my brother's 10 years younger.
Look at us. I told
Yeah.
you we're sisters from another mister.
Wow.
So coming back to, I was always, I mean, only as of recently, until like maybe the last 10 years, still trying to prove my worth. Even when I got certified to do the vocal thing,
Yeah.
I was fighting for that acknowledgement from my peers in my community that I was the real deal. I had
Yeah.
that imposter syndrome forever. Am I good enough to get on a stage? Am I good enough to be singing to corporate audiences and making all the money I was making back then? Full band, horn section, hair, makeup, wardrobe, 3 girls up front on the stage, the Diana Ross Supreme thing. But now, maybe it's just my age. I'm at a point where I do not care.
Yeah.
Now I sound like my 22-year-old son. I do not care. But all I care about is being of service, helping as many humans, primarily women. I do work with men too, but especially our young girls that are coming in that just don't even know where to begin. I mean, this is our future. We there's a major shift happening on our planet of waking up, of awareness, of mindfulness, being aware every word that we use. We in one sentence, we can either build somebody up and like, yeah, cool, or we can tear them down. Here's another story. Quick one, quick one. I had a woman, this was a few years back, for her 70th birthday. This is an important woman. Like, she is up there on the corporate ladder. She's running businesses. She's making, I don't know how much money she makes, but she's off the chart. Very successful woman. For her 70th birthday, her husband got her a little gift certificate to come work with me and do a few sessions.
Aw.
In that first session, this is a powerful, confident woman.
Yeah.
Same thing. She's breaking down in tears. I learned that as a child, so she's like maybe 7 or 8 years old, maybe
Yeah.
10, Catholic school. The nuns told her, please don't sing. We want you. This is your job. You're going to turn the pages for the piano player accompanying the choir. 70 years old for her to come and learn that actually you do have a voice.
Wow.
You can sing. But this is the stuff that comes into my office.
Can most people sing?
Everybody can sing. Everybody can sing.
Can everyone sing good?
Everybody can sing.
I mean,
great.
maybe not like win America's, Got Talent, but can we all sing good?
We can all sing.
Wow.
And that would be such a fun thing for us to do, like a little group, a workshop, some fun thing.
Yeah, I would sing in the car, and my dad would always say, "Don't quit your day job."
Yeah, so it's things like that. Like, it's a silly kind of a fun, little bantering back and forth, maybe with your dad, but that stuff goes deep. And
it was not fun. It totally was offensive.
We take that in.
Because I was learning to play the guitar. And then he told me that I don't quit your day job. And then I quit everything. Yeah. Because to me, it's weird to like play the guitar and not sing. Just play the guitar. It just seemed awkward. So then I just stopped because of that. So it was hurtful.
Sabrina, this is such a common story. It's very, very common.
Yeah.
And we take it in as truth.
Yeah.
It's not truth. It's training is what it is. And it makes me so angry. Makes me so angry.
Yeah, I feel it
so much.
Because I really enjoyed it,
And everybody should be singing.
Yeah.
It's so healing.
Yeah.
It boosts your immune system. There's so many health benefits. I've got a podcast on that. Health benefits of singing, speaking, in the shower, in the car. That everybody can learn to sing. Everyone's process is a little bit different. Some people, it's easier to hear the notes than others, which, by the way, there's no such thing as tone deaf. So you, the audience that are listening, if you've ever been told that you are tone deaf, it's bullshit. It's not true. There's such thing as hearing loss, right? I've had clients who have lost hearing, primarily musicians in bands that have been traveling and touring that didn't take care of their ears, that have lost certain frequencies of sound, like they can't hear, in here, this spot here.
Wow.
But no such thing as tone deaf. It is just training. Uh, you know, uh, sometimes it can be really hard work for some people. The little girl that received the donation from the man that didn't show up, right? Guy shows up at my house for a session on the wrong day. He's all pissed off at me. He's like, I want a free refund, my money back. Like, so we get to talking, and this gentleman says, you know what? I've decided I want you to give this to a well-meaning student that maybe can't afford it. I want you to gift this person. So sure enough, I did. And the young woman, she's a junior in high school. And this is the time of year right now. All the auditions are happening. They're all trying out for the choir and the outburst and the theater stuff for fall 2025. And this little girl, she sought me out. Spanish is her first language. She's been auditioning for this choir every year for 3 years. And, she didn't have the money. They didn't have the resources, but, we came in, we worked together. She really struggled with the pitch thing. But I'm telling you, after I think I worked with her for a couple of months, in fact, I think she's auditioning today, so much improvement, like huge, huge improvement. And she really, really struggled. And I kind of, because she's getting ready for something, I was like a little bit militant about it. It's like, yep, nope, that's not it. This is it. That's not it. This is it. Listen again. If you are one of those people that you want to sing and you struggle and you're not sure, closing your eyes while you sing sometimes can help identify the note. There's something about the eyes being closed. I don't know what that is, but pitch, being able to hear a note and land on it it's always has to do with how you're breathing. Breathing is a huge piece, by the way, of how we use our voice. We need air to move through the vocal cords to make them vibrate, create sound. Without breath, there's no vibration. We're doing sign language, right?
Yeah.
It's either a matter of if you're having pitch issues, they say the note is here. It's either a matter of you're overshooting it. You're giving too much energy. We call that being sharp. The remedy, how you fix that, is to relax.
Mm.
You're not hitting the note. You're down here. You're flat, not fat, flat. The remedy is a little bit more energy to get up to the note. It's that simple, folks. It's not. This is, people overthink it. And we're watching the American Idol and watching The Voice. And oh my gosh, I could never do that. And, well, I could help you get pretty close.
Wow.
Isn't this exciting?
Wow, that's just so interesting to hear. I had no, I didn't know any of this. I didn't know anything regarding voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, this all definitely comes together. For as we kind of wrap up here, I'd love for you to kind of tell us, obviously we have a good idea of what you do, but who should be reaching out to you? Who specifically do you help?
Well, for this group, for the audience that are here today, anybody that has always thought or wanted or don't believe that they can, singing is just like, that's just always there. That's a given. In terms of health, wealth, and leadership, if you are a new author and you're getting ready to go on a book tour, if you want to do that podcast, you're not sure where to begin, when it specifically with the voice, I don't help people so much with their content as much as I help them take their content and we work that content for the stage.
Yeah.
Authors, podcasts, TEDxers. If you're working on a TED Talk, I have a whole program in preparation for that. We actually do media work. So, once you've gotten your talk together, and I do work online, clients all over the world. But once you have the content together, then we go through that with their highlighter and your markers, and we're plugging in, where are you going to practice the power of that pause? The power of the pause, huge. I got a podcast. I have an episode on that. Where are you going to really establish yourself as an authority? Where are you going to where's the part in your talk where you want people to take action, where you're going to really bring in that fire? So any of those areas, authors, podcasters, TEDxers, maybe you just want to, start doing some lunch and learns or some workshops in your local area. But again, you're not really sure. We've had some festivals here. I've helped some people recently with their talk for the festival stages. If you're having anything to do with your voice, any issues around your voice that are causing vocal fatigue. I've seen a lot of vocal fatigue, just tired, people losing their voice. If you are someone that is on tour, I haven't been asked to sign an NDA, but I don't want to blow my chances either. I have had somebody, another very huge person who is teaching workshops, retreats. He's constant. And his team reached out to me recently because I think he's been losing his voice. So, if you're not using your voice correctly, overuse of the voice. And again, it comes back to the breath work. Breathing, friends, breathing. Huge is my breath rock. I would put this on the solar plexus. We teach you how to draw that breath all the way down. Too many people in fact, most people that come into work with me, in fact, to back up for a second, before I do anything with anybody, I'm looking at how they're breathing. And 93% of the time, I have to teach people how to breathe correctly.
I believe that. I've been told I breathe wrong.
A lot of short, shallow breathing.
Yeah.
A lot of living in fight or flight.
And also like chest for stomach or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a common thing. People are speaking from here, or worse yet, they're speaking from the throat. This is just the wear and tear, right? And if you are somebody in the audience, if you listening, watching, if you are losing your voice frequently, you're just vocally tired, take a look at how you're breathing. Are you drinking enough water? Right? Hydration is a big piece. Are you getting enough sleep? There's so many, physical things that we take a look at the very first time that we're meeting together. So yeah, the voice it's not just this little thing here. It's a whole physical, mental connection.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. Where can people find you online?
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much. The website is a great place to go. There is a ton of information. I have free gifts there. In fact, I love, I am. Was that you? One of your episodes, somebody was talking about I am. I have a little I am meditation. It's a free gift on the website under free stuff. It's a little 10-minute. It's a breath work where I walk you through where we inhale. It's also great for changing your mindset. You inhale, I am. And then I walk you through the alphabet where you exhale something that starts with the letter A, abundant, awesome, amazing. You breathe in, I am. You exhale something that starts with B, blessed, bountiful, whatever. You can make up your own. So there is that. The website is a great place to go. And then I do offer a complimentary, I'm not sure if I sent that link over to you. It's a complimentary Conquer the Mic session. And I'm not sure that is on the site. It should be. There's two. There's the one you pay for, and there's the complimentary. I'm not really sure yet. I want to talk to Sloane first before I do that. So you can reach out to me if you're interested in knowing more about that. No obligation for the complimentary.
I love it. And then where can people find you on social?
Oh, all over the place. Vocal Coaching by Sloane. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of the above.
Where do you mostly hang out?
Oh, man. Where am I mostly hanging? I'm redoing all of it right now. I'm pulling everything together in one place. Where am I mostly at? All over. I haven't been consistent. That's one of my 90-day plans for me this
summer. You don't
summer.
just go to one, I go to Facebook, just Facebook.
Yeah, probably the Facebook. And I do have a group there. Find Your Voice, Rock Your Confidence. It's a women's group. Fit, Rock Your Confidence. Probably
love
Facebook.
It. Very cool. Well, this has been great. I so appreciate you being here. We had a ton of people watching live. Thank you so much for still being here. For those of you that are hanging on to the end here. If you resonated with Sloane and all the goodness that she shared, make sure you check her out at vocalcoachingbysloane.com. She predominantly hangs out on Facebook if you want to follow her there, along with all the other places. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the invitation and to be here. I love it. We met on the International Speaking Network, which is a wonderful group. My final thought would be uh, you, the audience, that you do have something really valuable to share with other people. And you don't serve anybody by playing small and hiding out. And your story, where you've come from, your background, there are other people waiting to hear how you've overcome that, how you've moved forward, and that is really being in service. And when we are in service, and we are, this may have come up in one of your last episodes, I'm a go giver. We got that phrase, go be a go getter. When you show up to give, it's amazing the magic that comes back to you. It's like a magnet. So just, stop hiding out. Stop thinking that what you have to say is not important, because there's someone waiting to hear what you have to say. You are hope. You are showing what's possible, and you have a team of people all around you, online, in person, Sabrina, her community, my community, that are here to help you take the next step. And, is it scary? Oh yeah, it can be scary. Anytime you're up leveling, it's going to be scary, but you know, do it. Do it, because there's people that are waiting to hear from you. And there's no greater gift that I get when I see my clients emerge and transform. It doesn't take much. So just that's I just want to challenge the audience. Please stop hiding out. Take it to the next level. You've got people here to support you all over the world.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. So appreciate it. That brings us to an end of yet another incredible episode of Her Talk Show. Thank you, Sloane, for sharing your wisdom, for inspiring us all. To our dedicated listeners, thank you so much for staying till the very end. Remember to follow, like, and share. Once again, my name is Sabrina Victoria. I invite you to join our amazing community, Her Nation Global, where we continue to uplift each other every step of the way by having conversations just like this one. As always, until next